Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Tech Gamers World. Well, the time has finally come. Microsoft has finally released the Dune activities for Microsoft Flight Simulator after months of anticipation. This release is set to coincide with the upcoming Dune Part 2 movie that's set to be released in theaters in early March. So I am super excited to check this out. I love flying the Ornithopter, or they call it the Topper. There's a whole bunch of names you can call it. So the Dune Activities Pack is free. If you want to get it, just go to the little advertisement on the main screen, click on it, and it'll take you to the Content Manager, and you can download the pack for free. It includes activities and the aircraft that looks like a giant dragonfly. So for this video, I'm going to demonstrate the high altitude capabilities of the Ornithopter and how to do a dive on Earth. So let's go ahead here and get it started. So if you go to World Map, I'm going to go ahead and select my departure point. Now I love taking off from a little runway in northern New Jersey called Morristown Municipal Airport. So we'll go ahead here and search for it, and there it is. We'll complete it. Morristown Municipal, right here, call sign KMMU. No idea what the K stands for. So I like to take off from ramp 32, parking, which is just a parking spot. Now we're going to go ahead and back the time up a little bit to make it daylight so we can see everything that's going on. Arrival is going to be LaGuardia, and I'm going to literally land anywhere. On the way back, we'll do a little flyover of New York City here, pending we survive our dive. So we'll set our arrival as runway 13, but given that this is more of a helicopter style aircraft, I can land anywhere I want. So with that said, let's check and make sure here that we are set for the Ornithopter. We are. Cruise speed 300 ktas. Max altitude 31,000 feet, endurance 7 hours, range 1,700 nautical miles. So, with that said, let's get it started. So while we're waiting for it to load here, the Ornithopter is the most unique method of airborne travel in Dune. Often referred to by its nickname, the Thopter, it is a highly adaptable craft. This thing is awesome. It has the speed of a fixed-wing aircraft with the hover and vertical takeoff and landing benefits of a helicopter. And it's the only way to get around the Imperium in style, because this thing literally looks like a giant dragonfly. Alright. So, here we are at the parking area. Our aircraft is presently powered off and the wings are retracted. So as you can see, it literally looks like a giant freaking dragonfly. So the first thing we want to do is talk about how we're going to fly this aircraft. You have two ways to fly. One, you can use the Xbox controller, or two, you can use a flight stick. This is the Thrustmaster T.Flight HOTAS 1 flight stick, and we'll be flying with that today. So let's go ahead here and pull up a second camera so you can see the flight stick. Here is throttle, here is ailerons, and all the other good stuff. Rudders, ailerons. As you can see, it is all working and tied in to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Alright. Very important. You need to verify controls with this aircraft. So what do I mean by that? There's two ways to control the aircraft. It is with the gamepad or the T.Flight HOTAS 1. So what I usually do when I fly this thing is I leave some of the controls on the gamepad, and you'll see what I mean here in a minute. We can see here we're just pulling up the different things here on the T.Flight HOTAS 1 and on the gamepad. So here is some of the stuff for the gamepad. Very important are these. The Ornithopter wing brakes is Y. Afterburner is X. Glide mode is D-pad left. Glide mode off, D-pad down. Ornithopter dive mode on, Ornithopter dive mode off. So those are very important ones. I recommend you leave those bound to the joystick, the controller, and just leave the controller on the side, especially because of the afterburner. The X, I found that if you try and apply the T.Flight HOTAS 1 profile, doesn't have some of the settings that the Ornithopter needs. Like if you look for some of the things, you just won't see them in this. So that's super important. Like afterburner does not work. It's different with the Ornithopter. So that's why I use the flight stick and the controller. All right. First thing we want to do is get this aircraft ready to fly. So what you need to do here is do a couple of things. First, you need to find the battery and switch it on. Fuel valve on, alternator on, avionics master on, which will bring up your systems. If you're flying at night, panel lights, landing lights, all these various dome lights, etc. So now that the battery is on, the fuel valve is on, alternator is on, avionics master is on, we are going to close the left door and close the right door. So we can see both doors are closed and we are in this cockpit. Now, the next thing we want to do, and this is pretty cool, is tell the wings to unfold. So as you can see, the wings are unfolding. There are 8 wings on this aircraft that look like literally a dragonfly. The next thing we need to do is start up the engine. So to do that, you are going to simply go to Engine Start. And you will see, give it a second here, you can hear the engine revving up. And the wings are starting to move. Now this is a helicopter style craft, so there is no taxiing or any of that kind of stuff. So with that said, we are ready for takeoff. Now, this thing is very sensitive, so it's important to keep that in mind when you're flying. The slightest movements translate into significant movements on this craft. So let's verify ailerons and rudders, ailerons, everything is working. It says the engine's not started. Ignore that. It really is poor programming on Flight Simulator. So what you want to do now is bring the throttle all the way forward and take off. Now, as soon as you take off, you want to tilt forward because you're going to start to move backwards. Now we want to retract the landing gear. So landing gear is up. And now when you're ready to gain altitude, hold X, which is the booster. You'll see now our airspeed is increased significantly, and we're going to tilt straight up. We'll use the moon as a reference point. Passing 7,000, 8,000 feet, 10,000 feet. Vertical speed is 35,000 feet per second. Altitude 18,000. So supposedly this craft has an altitude max limit of 31,000 feet. So let's see if that actually holds true.
New York Center, Tecumur 1982 heavy flight level 235.
Brickyard 5715 climb and maintain flight level 200.
So we can see some pretty nice angles here. You can see the boosters pushing us up. So it looks like we are maxing out altitude. We have. Alright. So let's level out here. Alright. So we can see Newark Airport down there. That's what all those are. There's Manhattan up ahead. So we are at 31,000 feet and cruising nicely. You can see down below us, everything down there. This thing is pretty friggin' cool.
New York Center Delta 2903, 69,300 feet.
So what we're going to do now is a dive maneuver. So a dive maneuver essentially stops the engines, the wings go back into their retracted position, and we dive straight down. So let's see what happens. Here we go. Here is the dive maneuver. We are diving. We are diving fast. Altitude 20,000 feet. You can see we are zooming. So once we reach about 10,000 feet, we're going to end the dive and pull out of this dive. So you can literally dive down to like 1,000 feet and pull out of it. Just got to be paying super attention. I'll show you that again here. Wings locked, in a dive. And we'll pull out of it. So you can see how quick we pulled out of that dive there. Alright, so let's go ahead and head over to New York City, pay a visit to the Big Apple. Passing over Newark Airport. We're going to end the booster there. We'll slow down our forward airspeed. We can get some nice shots of New York City.
Cleared through Bravo airspace, Techimer 1982 Heavy.
So we're going to start to make a turn and head up the Hudson River. Slow it down again here. Power's at 54%. If you want to do a burn there, you can see how much the boosters really work. There, they push your speed up considerably. So we're going to bring the power down to 30%, 40%. Start to slow our forward speed because we want to land here at LaGuardia, which is up to the north and the east. There is the Statue of Liberty. Off to the left there, you can see it out the left window. There is New Jersey. And we'll be coming up on the World Trade Center. At this point, we would probably be being followed by numerous United States Air Force aircraft, wondering just what the heck we are, because we would have shown up on radar by now. So we're flying over downtown. There is the famous One World Trade Center. Do a quick pass by there. Nice shot. This is rendered with the Sam Scene 3D add-on pack, and this is being played on a Microsoft Xbox Series X. So now we'll head up Midtown and go up over Central Park. So we're going to slow our forward speed down even more here because we are moving pretty fast. Here is the Empire State Building. Passing by right there. Nice shot there. Passing over Central Park now. We'll go up the Upper East Side, fly over the Met, over the Jackie Onassis Reservoir, which is the biggest man-made lake in New York City, in the biggest park in New York City. Go ahead and bring our throttle up a little more. If you ever find you're stalling out or slowing down, just give it a boost. You'll burn forwards considerably there. So that's a wing brake there. Slows your speed considerably, which we'll use for our landing. Let's get a boost here, get us going again. So now we're going to head over to LaGuardia for a landing. So LaGuardia is just off to the east there. So let's go ahead now and turn towards LaGuardia and find a spot to land this awesome dragonfly. So I'm pretty much going to land wherever I can. Try and find a nice spot to land. So let's slow our forward speed here. Let's put the landing gear down. You can see our landing gear is locked in place. And we are coming up on LaGuardia. So when you're flying, you don't have to worry about really how fast you're going, because you can use your wing brakes to slow you down considerably. And I'll show you that again here once we get to where we want to land. So there are lots of planes in LaGuardia, so you got to be careful. You can see that whole line of them right there. They look getting ready to take off, and there goes a plane there. Again, if you find your airspeed slowing too much, just do a boost. And we're going to see about where we can land this thing here. There should be a parking area at the end. Let's do a little boost. That spot will work right there. Let's do a little boost. Right here should work. And now, let's just bring her down for a nice, gentle landing. You do that by using your wing brake. And then when you're down, you can go ahead and throttle down. Grab your controller. Go ahead and tell the engines to stop. And wings to fold. When you do that, the engines will stop and the wings will fold shut. As you can see, the wings are closing and locking in. Excellent. Next thing you want to do is turn off any lights that you have on. Turn off the fuel valve, alternator, avionics master, and we'll go ahead here and just continue. It senses we land. And go ahead and turn off the battery. So there we go. We took off from Morristown, New Jersey, flew up to the max altitude in the Thropter of 32,000 feet, did a dive down to roughly 10,000 feet, came down, did another dive down to about 3,000, 4,000 feet, flew over the beautiful and amazing New York City for a nice, soft landing at LaGuardia Airport. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. As always, if you could please click that like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to have new and exciting content coming soon. Thanks a lot, everybody, and I will see you around. Keep on gaming.